Good evening. Welcome to the news tonight. I'm Natasha Doraiswamy. It's a rather news-packed evening as we bring you a shocking story from here in Chennai. The details in just a bit right after we take you through the top headlines. A teenage schoolboy is allegedly thrashed by cops in Chennai for daring to film a traffic cop collecting money, but the police say the boy assaulted them first. The Karnataka High Court says no further investigation is needed in the wealth case against Chief Minister Jayalalitha. DMK MP Kanimuri files another bail plea before the special court in Delhi. Her application will come up on the 1st of October. The DMK voices its displeasure over not being consulted by the centre on the sudden fuel price hike.
Any rise in the LPG cylinders. Further, we have the dual price policy also.
He missed defeating DMK heavyweight MP Stalin, but Saida Doraiswamy gets his reward. The AIDMK feels him as the Chennai mayoral candidate. Chief Minister assures protesting villagers that the Kudankulam nuclear plant is safe. Narendra Modi's three-day fast picks up a ton of criticism, but not from Jayalalitha, sends two AIDMK ministers to attend the fast. The railways question the hospitalized driver in the Arakonam train tragedy. A report on the collision will be submitted soon. More trouble for KN Nehru. The Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Department raids more properties of the DMK former minister. Those are the top stories from the state, but a look at the national headlines now. After allies expressed their anger over the petrol hike, today's ministerial panel meet on LPG subsidies is postponed. Anger across the country as petrol goes up by over 3 rupees a litre. The BJP protests in the capital. And pay more for your home and car loans as the RBI hikes key rates by 2.5%. The Prime Minister says cross-border terror camps are being reactivated. There is no room for complacency in Jammu and Kashmir. Azharuddin's son Ayazuddin dies in hospital. He was critical for several days following an accident on a motorbike. Rahul Dravid gets set to play his final one-day of his career later today in the final match of the series against England. After the Karnataka Film Producers Association lifts an outrageous ban on actor Nikita Tukral, she says she will think 100 times before acting with Darshan again. Well, call it the Anna Hazare effect. In a shocking incident last evening, a teenage schoolboy was allegedly beaten up by cops on the old Mahabalipuram road when he tried to film a traffic policeman collecting money. The boy, who was reportedly stopped along with his driver on their way back home, was asked to pay a fine as their vehicle's number plate was not in order, and they were also allegedly overspeeding. According to the parents, the boy was taken to the Kanagi Nagar police station and beaten with lathis. His parents then took him to the Roypeta Government Hospital for first aid. Meanwhile, as the parents were on their way to the police commissioner's office to file a complaint against the cops, there are reports that the police have turned the tables on the boy by claiming that he was the one who assaulted and misbehaved with them and have filed criminal cases against him. We are not showing you visuals of the boy's face or any identification of the minor, as it is prohibited under the Juvenile Justice Act. And our reporter Pratiksha spoke to the parent of the 16-year-old boy. Let's listen in.
We are now joined by the mother of the boy who was allegedly beaten up by the police. Ma'am, could you tell us what exactly happened on Thursday?
Okay, Thursday, yesterday my son was coming from the office to the home, and while taking U-turn, the policeman has stopped him and asked, he was sitting behind the car, my driver is driving the car. So he stopped the driver and asked him all the papers and everything. My driver has shown him everything was correct. Then the policeman told that your number plate is not correct, so you have to pay the fine, like 1,050 rupees. Then my son came out from the back door and he asked, what happened, sir? Then he said that you have to pay this money. Then he told, I don't have this much of money, so you can please call my father, he will come and talk to you. Then he said, no, you can't call your father also, and you have to pay this money, or else you can't move from the place. So then 45 minutes he was standing there. Then they told that, okay, how much money you have? Then he said, I have 250 rupees with me. So they said, okay, you give this money to me. Then he given the money, and after giving money, he was just standing there. That this policeman, he removed his cap. He was having so much of money in the cap. So he asked his assistant that how much today's challan we have cut. He said some 4,500. So he told, okay, 4,500 he kept in another pocket and said that balance 3,000 rupees will share it, and given 1,000 rupees to him and 2,000 rupees he was keeping in his pocket. So my son told that, sir, you are doing all this wrong thing, so I will take a video. So he tried to took his mobile from the pocket, then the policeman snatched the mobile, and then he beated him so badly on the road with the stick and kicked him, and he was really injured. His some 20-30 sticks he was beated him, and then some 5 policemen was there, and this fellow was beating him, and then he took him to the police station, and our area is coming in Thorai-Pakam, and then they have taken him to the Kanagi Nagar police station. So then I was not able to contact my son also. Then somehow 2 hours we were searching for him. Somehow we came to know that he is in Kanagi Nagar police station. We went there, spoken to inspector. He was inspector also talking so badly, and he was telling that this is the police station and you can't question anything. And I asked them that why have you beaten my son? He didn't do any crime or nothing. Right. He was just trying to whatever he was doing wrong, he was just trying to take it the way. Then he said, okay, you don't know how to behave with the police. We are like this is spoken. Then ACP came there. Then he told, okay, I know my person has he's done the wrong thing. So you do one thing, you come to the Thorai-Pakam police station, where we will take the all complaint and everything.
Right.
Because that area is in the Thorai-Pakam. So from Kanagi Nagar we thought, okay, we'll go to the Thorai-Pakam station. Then he was in severe pain and he was feeling giddiness and everything. So we took him to the Roypeta General Hospital. There the doctor has seen him and given some injection and whatever, and then they took the X-ray and everything, and they said the 10 days is the baddest for him. Okay. So while 2 o'clock we came back to the home. So he was not able to give any complaint to the police station yesterday. So morning we were scared to go to the police station, because it's if something happened outside you can go to the police. If police is doing something, where you will go? So we was not able to go to the police station again.
Ma'am, it's good that you actually finally decided to file a complaint, but what did you really mention in the complaint, ma'am?
We wrote all the things, whatever happened, no, the same thing we have written in the complaint, and we went to the commissioner. Like Mr. Commissioner, we met him like 3 o'clock today, and we told all the matter to him. So he told that we have to meet SCP traffic police, and then tomorrow evening we have to go and meet him, and then we have told everything to him. So I believe that he'll do something about this, because nobody can beat like this a child on the road. He
Right.
didn't do anything.
We understand.
Just a student. So
Right.
this has happened. Last
Ma'am,
evening.
we also heard reports of the police actually also filing a counter
Yeah,
complaint.
I don't know how they filed against him, because he was they have beaten him. They have took him to the hospital,
Right.
Police station, and we took him to the hospital.
Right.
So if he did anything wrong with the police, how the police will leave him? Yesterday evening you tell.
That's
Because
right.
we took him, he is not in the police station. If he touches a police person, police will never leave a person.
Right.
How they allow him to come out from the police station? We took him to the hospital also, we took the medicine and everything there and all treatment there. So if he did anything wrong, police will never leave him. So they are just false complaining against him to save their part, what they have done with him.
Ma'am, we definitely hope that your son does get justice.
Well, that's the perspective from one of the parents of the 16-year-old boy. But our crime correspondent Salim joins us to present what exactly the police have had to say from beginning until now, and the cops' side of the story.
There are two angles, one from the traffic cops and the other from the law and order policemen. The traffic cops say investigation revealed that the boy was at fault. The boy's vehicle jumped signals last night, which led the policemen to chase the boy's vehicle and intercept him, and the traffic cop also issued a notice to the boy for rash and negligence driving. And the policemen allege that the boy, along with two others, entered into an altercation with the policemen. The boy also allegedly took out his cell phone and threatened to take video of the policemen collecting bribe from the motorist. The police indeed say that in fact they had some money, because they were actually collecting spot fines from the motorist who were not obeying the traffic rules. The policemen also allege that the boy tapped on the policeman's shoulder, thereby not allowing him to discharge their duties. And after an altercation, the policeman took the boy to the Thorai-Pakam police station. We spoke to the law and order policemen in Duraipakkam. They said that they have registered case under 3 sections of the Indian Penal Code against the boy and 2 others. One for using criminal force to deter a public servant from discharging duties, 2 wrongful restraint, and 3 criminal intimidation. And the Assistant Commissioner of the Duraipakkam Police Station said that they are on the lookout for 3 people, including the boy.
And Advocate Sudha Ramalingam now joins us live to give us her take on this entire scenario that's unfolded. Thank you very much for joining us. Ma'am, what do you really make of this case based on what you have heard?
This is the stereotyped reaction of the police whenever they are really caught red-handed, when they take bribe or when anyone questions them. As such, police has really not reformed itself. It still feels that it is only in the British days when the citizen was looked upon as the enemy of the state itself. And the police trying to act like this gives a very, very wrong message to a student. This person he's just a 16-year-old +1 student. And instead of setting example to the student, the police seem to have exceeded all its limits. And as the mother rightly said, if only this fellow had committed any wrong, the police would not have left him out yesterday. The entire problem now revolves around the fact that the parents took him to the government general hospital, and in the government hospital there would be records to show that the child was actually assaulted and the injuries would have been recorded. Now, in order to safeguard themselves, they have foisted a false case, which is utterly wrong, and the police ought not to behave like that. The policeman responsible for such violent action against a juvenile should have been immediately suspended and action taken against him legally. Instead of that, threatening the child, threatening the parents, and then giving wrong signals to them only ensures that people lose faith in the police system and not be cooperative with them. This is not something which is welcome at all. It has to be, and I think the State Human Rights Commission should immediately suo motu take cognizance of this and come heavily upon the policemen who are responsible for these acts.
Well, actually, speaking of setting an example, the police setting an example to this young boy, the police actually claim the boy is not 16 but 22, and the police also claim that the boy assaulted them.
+1 student.
They also claim that the boy assaulted them, but can the police really take a minor to the police station? Can they take a minor to the police station?
They cannot take the minor to the police station. One, secondly, if he had really assaulted them, they would not have left him out yesterday, and not taking him to Duraipakkam police station. I stand corrected. I was told that the child was taken to Kannaginagar police station, which is not within the jurisdiction of the place where the incident is supposed to have happened. And they have also collected a fine of 1,050 rupees, which would show that it was not for the offences that they are talking about. And having taken the boy, kept him in unlawful custody, beaten him up black and blue, and threatening now the others also, and foisting a false case, are all giving definitely wrong signals. They are gross human rights violations by the state police. I sincerely feel and hope that the city police commissioner, who is definitely child friendly, who is definitely citizen friendly, would immediately take action to suspend the police cops who are responsible for this, and also the assistant commissioner should be taken to task for having protected these persons and ensuring that a false FIR has been filed against the poor victim child.
Well, ma'am, let's look at the bigger picture here for the parents itself. What are the legal options that they have in front of them at this point?
The parents can definitely file a petition under 482 for direction to register their complaint, and also to quash the complaint with the FIR which has been registered, and seek for compensation too. That's as far as the High Court is concerned. They could do all these things. They could also move the State Human Rights Commission and the National Human Rights Commission for remedies under the commission by the commission also.
All right, so now that today is a Friday and the police will probably look to arrest the boy, do the parents have to wait till Monday to really approach the court?
See, because the child, he is only a 16-year-old child, there is no question of arresting. If he is found to be a child juvenile in conflict with law, he could only be produced before the Child Welfare Committee, and when the parents are available to take care of him, I don't think he could ever be remanded to. It's not possible, and I suppose and believe honestly that the city police will definitely not do something further damaging the entire scenario and let loose a reign of terror on a child and the parents of the children also, of the child also.
All right, thanks very much Sudha Ramalingam for joining us and giving us your perspective really on what this whole situation is, the police and what they've really been put themselves into at this point also. Do tell us from here on forth really, what can the boy do in this particular situation? Can he get himself out of it at that point when he is possibly in a situation like this?
See, I suppose the child should now gather strength and should definitely believe the system and not be demoralized because of whatever has happened. Whatever has happened, the violence let loose on him would definitely demoralize an ordinary citizen, even if it was an adult, more so when the child, when he is just a juvenile. But definitely he should understand that majority of the policemen are honest, true, and he would get justice. The judiciary is not corrupt, the entire police system is not that corrupt, except that there are black sheeps everywhere, including the police, which he has now faced. So he should not lose hope in the system. The system would work and he would eventually get justice, and let him also take this as a lesson to definitely fight for the just causes day in and day out.
Well, thanks ma'am for joining us here on the bulletin, on the news tonight really. We will be bringing you the developments of this particular big story really to you the viewer. Now moving on, in developments in the disproportionate assets case, it's a setback for Chief Minister Jayalalitha as the Bangalore High Court quashed further investigation in this case. DMK had also proposed that it meant that there was certain destruction of evidence really for this particular case. And DMK MP Kanimuri, named as co-conspirator in the 2G scam today, filed a fresh bail plea before a special CBI court in the capital after being denied bail earlier. And the hearing for this bail petition has been scheduled for October 1st. Kanimuri's initial bail applications had been dismissed twice, which included the special leave petition before the Supreme Court. Well, the initial probe into the tragic Arakonam train collision that claimed 10 lives began today. The hospitalized driver, Rajkumar, is said to have been questioned. As his statement was recorded, his actions have come under the scanner after the preliminary report suggested human error. The Commissioner of Railway Safety said that all the evidence and the witnesses will be examined and questioned, and a report on the collision will be submitted soon. The Southern Railway has asked the public to come forward and give evidence till tomorrow if they have any knowledge relating to the incident on Tuesday when the mainline electrical multiple unit train rammed into a stationary passenger train. Well, acting on specific inputs that some massage and beauty parlors are used for prostitution, the anti-vice squad of the Chennai police raided massage and beauty parlors in the city. 14 pimps have been arrested, 21 young girls who were forced into prostitution rescued and sent to the government home in Mylapore for rehabilitation. Greater Chennai Police Commissioner J.K. Tripathi have warned strict action against such massage parlors active in the city. Well, 3 passport seva kendras were launched in Saligramam, Chennai today. Shri Muktesh Kumar Pardesi, IFS Chief Passport Officer, launched the passport seva kendras. The various services like enquiry, online filing of data and online police tracking was inaugurated. It is a rather unique e-service for the public that's meant to reduce the queue at the passport office so as to deliver passports in a quick and effective manner.
The passport applicant has to take an appointment through online. There is a portal, passportindia.gov.in. In that, the appointments will be given. Already we started giving appointments since today. From 19th onwards, they will get appointments. On the date of appointment and time of appointment, they have to come to the PSKs for submission of applications, where the applicant's fingerprinting will be taken, and the scanning of documents will be done. Then it will go to the verification officer and granting officer for granting of the passport.
Sir, how many days will it take to process?
It is like, for example, Tatkal cases. Tatkal cases requires 3 working days. And if the police verification is required in the required cases, after the police verification comes, we will immediately issue a passport.
Well, it's bad news for you and me now. The RBI has hiked key interest rates by 2.5%. So get set to pay more for your car and home loans, as banks will pass on the burden to consumers. Now, the central bank tackling high inflation, which is at a 13-month high. There have been 12 in the last 18 months. But there is a huge concern on the impact the rate hikes have on growth. Well, the Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee had a ready explanation. Let's listen in.
Inflation continues to be a matter of concern at above 9% over the last 12 months, with significant supply and demand as side factors contributing to it. There are also signs of growth being affected by monetary tightening in the recent data on the real economy. Today's step is consistent with the RBI's monetary stance for the first half of 2011-12 and the overall concerns on growth sustainability in the medium term. I am hopeful that measures taken would get us back to a more comfortable inflation situation earlier.
Over to the world of sport and Indian cricket now. Rahul Dravid is going to walk out in coloured clothing for one final time in Cardiff today. Speaking to NDTV, the Wall said he is happy to leave fans with some great memories, as curtains will come down on his ODI career that spanned over 15 years, 343 matches and nearly 11,000 runs.
You know him as Mr. Dependable, the Wall, Jammy, but I'll give you a new name. In fact, this was given to you by Michael Holding. He called you a Buffalo Soldier because you were fighting when everyone else had fallen down. Do you mind this?
It's a new one. But from Mikey, I'll accept anything.
That's because he's a big Bob Marley fan, and that's exactly why you gave you that name. You know, for many of us, it's your last one day, and, you know, it's an emotional moment. But for you, you had played your last one day, I think, 2 years ago.
I had, so it's not, yeah, and I had. I mean, in my own mind, I probably had. But it's nice. It's nice to be given this opportunity to be able to finish off and sort of bring a closure to it in some ways. But yes, for me, this is not really any different, to be honest. I know it's not going to change my life a great deal. I mean, I'd been used to sort of not playing one-day cricket for the last 2 years, so it's not going to change my life in any big way.
Everyone knows you to be very disciplined on the field, but off the field also you're very, very disciplined and very careful with what happens around. Did you ever feel, the reason you didn't want to play one-day cricket, did you ever feel that you were probably taking a youngster's place? Is that something that came into your mind?
Obviously, in some ways, I mean, I think the team's moved on a bit, you know, in one-day cricket from my time. When I played in last, they've got some good young players. They've won a World Cup after that in the last 2 years. So it's been, you know, they've really moved on. I think there's some very good young, exciting young players coming through. So, you know, while I believe that the best team must play for India, irrespective of who you are and what your age is, you know, I think you are finding a group of youngsters coming through that are performing, you know, exceptionally well in one-day cricket.
Final question, what would you say to those fans who saw Rahul Dravid hit 3 sixes in a row and he's leaving the short format of the game?
I'm leaving them with some good memories.
And moving on to the entertainment world now, our senior editor Bama Ravi gives us a little perspective really on Engeyam Yeppodum, the film that released today, and here's the preview.
Engeyam Yeppodum starts off with a smash, literally. It's about an accident, and from that aspect, you know, we are taken back and forth on the journey. The story journeys back and forth. We travel to Chennai, we travel to Trichy, and then we get to know the love of two pairs here, in fact. One, of course, Jai and Anjali, where Anjali is the more firebrand, more forthright kind of heroine, very unusual kind of characterization, and she's done very well there, I must say. The second pair is, of course, Shravan and Ananya, and that is a more gentler, more, where love is kept inside but expressed much, much later in a very cinematic way. So, you have the contrast of kind of loves that our Tamil cinema has dealt with in the way these two stories are narrated. And of course, there is the social message, especially because in Tamil Nadu, Viluppuram, where this bus accident takes place, is, we all know, a place for such calamities. And to that extent, a social message has been given without boring us. But of course, there's always the question that, should we have so much of tragedy even in cinema? That is something you would wonder. But that's only the last few minutes when the film really turns heavy. Otherwise, it's actually quite enjoyable.
Well, that's all we have time for here on the news tonight. Do stay tuned for more news and updates at the top of the next hour. Thanks so much for watching.